Welcome, everyone. A warm welcome to our audience, our authors, our editorial advisory board, and our special guests. It's a pleasure to host this book launch event that marks the end of a long yet highly determined and passionate labor journey for all of us. Please allow me to extend my gratitude to all of you for sharing your expertise, experience, and for your patience. Furthermore, we could have not done it without the IGI Global team that generously offered their guidance throughout this process and also was very patient with us. As we know, our efforts spanned the pandemic, and although it brought us all together and we were very grateful for that, it also posed unique challenges, as we know. Our event aims to celebrate women empowerment, and we hope it will also serve as a call to action to reignite and accelerate our quest to attain UNSDGs by 2030. As all of you are aware, recent global reports emphasize that we lost a cumulative 136 years of progress equivalent due to the pandemic, and the forecasts due to the current geopolitical situation are not looking any better. Actually, they pose heightened challenges. In addition to all the beautiful ideologic reasons many of you will share today, I also wanted to accentuate a few key statistics that highlight why women play a crucial role. So even if someone might challenge us on the ideology reasons, statistics never lie. And I wanted to share with you that as of today, women represent 49.59% of the world's population, undeniably. And actually, if we look at the subsegment above 65 years old, they represent 55.7% of the world's population. Also, the latest statistics from United Nations and World Bank highlight that there are currently 3.3 billion people employed worldwide. And out of those 3.3 billion, 1.3 billion are female. There are also several industries, when we look at statistics, again, published by numerous organizations, where women have a predominant role. And two that I always like to highlight because they are foundational to everything we're going to talk today are education and healthcare. If we do not educate ourselves and if we're not well enough to be present, how can we impact any of the SDGs? So I think these numbers are speaking for themselves, and they're a nice complement to all the other beautiful elements that I know you'll share today. The book, as all of you know, I'm just going to briefly highlight what our vision and mission was for this book. The impact of women's empowerment on SDGs in the digital era discusses global issues surrounding the gender gap and how women's empowerment can contribute to each of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And our chapters highlight opportunities, challenges, drivers of success, the importance of ethical leadership in order to successfully create a women's empowerment legacy for future generations. And we're covering a range of topics, as our audience will hear, from finance, digital identity, healthcare, and deep tech impact investing, so the whole gamut. The book was designed to serve as a reference work for key decision makers and policymakers to illustrate the various facets and domains that we must consider. We also believe that each chapter can highlight unique regional challenges and maybe unique industry challenges, and hopefully also encourage further discussion and further events. One of our colleagues actually mentioned that after this book launch, we could do one event for each of the chapter topics as a series the whole year. And that might be a great idea to be able to hone in on all these. So today, we would just like to introduce our audience to the chapters and to our vision and mission, but I invite you all to, if you agree, join our series through the year.
And hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Sindhu, Chairman ESC Group based at Cambridge Innovation Center, MIT Boston. I'm honored to be part of this editorial team of this classic book, and I hail the literary contribution of Dr. Ingrid with worthy support from a galaxy of women SDG proponents and activists. My platform is itself an impact platform carrying the beacon of sustainable development goals, or SDGs as we say, while working in tier 3, 4, 5 sectors in India and Africa. And I have, my platform has 4 verticals. like banking, neo-banking, digital banking, payment gateways, global wallet. Second is agri-tech. Third is health tech. And fourth is edtech. And there is a huge ecosystem wherein every vertical is integrating. And I'm trying to push the lower levels of people to higher levels above them. And my focus is on students and women. Any development goal can be effectively met only when we can stop gender exploitation and adopt principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion in our daily lives at all levels. The species of female is deadlier than the male. In reality, it falsifies the differentiation theory and establishes the prowess of women. A family is the smallest economic unit of a nation, and a woman is a primary contributor. With gender bias, women are greatly differentiated and tortured, even though a woman is a creator, a sustainer, an influencer, and generally a crucible for the society and a family in particular. Empowering women and promoting gender equality is crucial to accelerating sustainable development. A nation develops from a family only, where there is the woman slogging herself to create additional economies. Equal opportunities and inclusive work model will not only strengthen the foundations of family, but also kick out gender differentiation, thus achieving the SDG agenda. This book is a lesson in creating an exhilarating background with factual narratives which can trigger women development and remove gender bias. All my appreciation for the contributors to this book and my best wishes for the book to be a big hit. Thank you very much.
I thoroughly enjoyed editing the book, Dr. Ingrid, because it was really, as you say, work on the ground, specific examples. I think we've heard the stats, we've heard the problem statements for years, but this was the book that was going into solution mode as well. And solution not on a conceptual level, but of people who have really gone to the ground and experienced firsthand the problems of women on the ground. So my name is Phumza Dyani, and I work for a state-owned entity that is rolling broadband into the rural communities. So this speaks to the heart of everything. I almost feel like I'm an advocate for women in the rural areas because, you know, what we read about, I experience firsthand, where you're seeing children for the first time seeing the internet when we roll out broadband to these communities, and you know for a fact that, you know, for the first time the trajectory of that child's life is changed. You know, when they for the first time have access to you know, to access universities they can go to access opportunities outside of their immediate dire circumstances. So I was particularly drawn to three chapters, Dr. Ingrid. One was talking to healthcare and speaking about the importance of a hybrid healthcare structure, speaking to the core of rural areas, because we still live with the reality of an older population that is far remote from, you know, health facilities, that has no hope because they are far removed. So when I read the chapter, you know, with practical examples of femtech and just the work that is starting to go into even research around women specifically, that for all these years, research has been centered around a general kind of research mode, but now specifically going into the issues affecting women. I was so encouraged, but also practical solutions that not anyone only just based in Switzerland, but someone in Africa can also relate to the solutions. They make sense, they are practical. We still have to overcome, yes, a few issues, but if someone who's here picks up the book, it's no longer kind of conceptual thing to say, look, a hybrid health structure can help, but there are practical solutions that have been learned elsewhere, and they are touching on women. I was particularly drawn to the study that was done also around education to say, when we roll out these technologies, let's be cognizant of the social environment that most women are still finding themselves in. We can think that we're bringing the technology to change their lives, but we have to be aware that these people are still struggling to know where the next meal is coming from. The social circumstances around them are still caretaking kids. They still have to go and fetch wood to, you know, to cook their meal for dinner that night. So how do we set up solutions that are also addressing the social challenges around the women. They're also the foundation, creating a foundation for diversity, talking to education as well to say, look, by the time they get to higher education, we've lost the track. How we attract women into the space has to start from the foundational aspects of education. And I love the practical examples that were being made. And wow, I say congratulations firstly to all the team, the authors, and the research work that has gone into it. There's quite intense research. There's no questioning. No one can challenge us on the research work around the statistics. But practical white papers that can be used across the world. Congratulations to team. And I don't want to miss out anything on this, Dr. Ingrid. I want to make sure that I'm part of the future and how this project will finally come into full fruition. And the more the merrier. We need all the women really putting their hands together for this. Thank you very much.
And now it is a great pleasure to introduce another editorial board member, Mr. John William Gomez, President of the Institute for Science, Entrepreneurship and Investments, and President of RevExpo Consulting, who also generously agreed to not only review the book, but also he had a surprise for us. He composed a classical piece of music specially for our book launch. Please enjoy it. Thank you.
Today, we wouldn't understand why somebody would be denied to go to school only because of being a woman. Not a long time ago, this was the reality almost all around the world. It is clear that in this aspect, many things have changed for better because of people like you and like me. Because we understand how hard it is to find the quality of education that we all deserve. In the world, there are 774 million people without formal education, and 2/3 of them are women. In countries that are looking for better opportunities, less than 27% are girls that are not able to finish their high school diploma. More than 12 million of kids are suffering from malnutrition. This we could mitigate if many of these mothers could have access to formal education. For this reason, it's imperative to promote the access of education because women are key for the development of all their communities. They are the biggest impact for a better economy in the world. To reduce the difference in the numbers of unemployment between women and men. Because it's fundamental that their health and wellness is the best as well as from their kids. Because we need to diminish the mortality of mothers up to 67%. Because we will have 50% less of mortality in kids. Because we must augment their autonomy. We must give them the right incomes and to eradicate discrimination. Because we want to diminish the numbers of poor and we want to create inclusive and equality access to education. And because of quality of education, we will empower all the little girls to have a beautiful infant life. And last but not least, because it's a human right and it's the base to enjoy everyone their rights equally. I would like to thank each one of you for being part of this beautiful project, the impact of women's empowerment on SDGs in the digital era, to discuss the global issues surrounding the gender gap and how women's empowerment can contribute to each one another for their success, their opportunities to mitigate challenges and to accomplish the goals, highlighting the opportunities and the importance of ethical leadership in order to successfully create a women's empowerment legacy for future generations. Thank you.